A very good morning to one and all. Myself, Dr. Vijay Nirmala, Associate Professor in the Department of Management Studies, Adishankara Group of Institutions. Today, I am going to discuss about digital signatures. This topic is from the subject e-business for MBA second year fourth semester students. And today we are going to discuss about the extensions of digital signatures. Yeah, before going in deep into this, in the previous session that already we have discussed what is digital signatures and how the digital signatures are being working. And in today's session, we are going to discuss about the advantages of digital signatures. So we came to know how what is a digital signature and how it is going to be work. And now the major thing why these digital signatures are more important. So mainly there are three advantages for us. One is imposter prevention, and the other one is message integrity, and the next one is legal requirements. Let us see deep into each and every advantage. One is imposter prevention. So, if while using this digital signatures, the users are actually eliminating the possibilities of committing fraud. So, if you use digital signature in any aspects, you can eliminate the frauds which exist from the third parties. So, by this, you can imposter by signing a document, whatever it may be, that when we are sending from the sender to the receiver, the documents, whatever we are sharing, those you can sign. So only with the help of digital signatures, you can eliminate the frauds which are going to be exist in through the third parties. So since that so digital signatures cannot be altered, you know that these cannot be altered. So it makes forgiving the signatures very much impossible. So that is one of the main advantage in digital signatures. Now let us move to the other one. It is message integrity. By having a digital signatures, so users, the persons who are using that, they are in fact that showing a simply proving the document to be valid. So they proves to be that the document is being valid. So when once it is assuring that the recipient, the documents are free from forgery, the documents are free from fraud, then you can't get any false information. You can't get any false information. So that is also one of the advantage of digital signatures. Now, let us move to the other one. It is legal requirement. This is also one of the major advantage in digital signatures. Why? Because when once we are using this digital signature, this satisfies us. It satisfies that some type of legal requirement the document which is questionable. Okay, so for the document which is questionable, you can tell that the signature satisfies some type of legal requirement. That is, a digital signature, it takes care of any formal legal aspect. It used to take care of any formal legal aspect of executing, that is how we try to execute the document. Okay, so it consists of legal requirements, message integrity, as well as imposter prevention. These are some of the advantages of digital signatures. Now, let us see some of the disadvantages also. Even though there are more advantages in digital signatures, they may exist some disadvantages. That is, association of digital signatures and trusted time stamping, and the other one is non-repetition. Non-repetition. Let us see what are these. Association of digital signatures and trusted time stamping. That is, this digital signature algorithms or digital signature protocols, they do not inherently provide us any certainty. They do not provide us any certainty regarding date and time, regarding the date and time. So at which the underlying document was signed. So the underlying document was signed, right, with the digital signatures, and this digital signatures or these algorithms or protocols, they do not provide any certainty about the date and time when it has been signed. So that was not given through digital signatures. Okay, so the signer, whoever he wants to sign, the signer, he might have included a timestamp. So who is going to use this digital signature? So they will be having a timestamp with the signature or with the document itself, and they might have a date mentioned on it. So whenever the person needs to change the sign, whoever the signs, so at the time he needs to include the timestamp. So with the use of this timestamp only, we can eliminate the fraud. So if you do not use this timestamp, it is not possible for us to use this digital signature. So that is the some major disadvantage in digital signatures. Okay, so why? Because the documents or the content that a reader cannot be certain, the signer do not do it. For example, you can't do a back date. In general, we use some back dates and send the documents, right? So that type of back dates are not possible in this digital signature. So in such cases, misuse cannot be made impractical. Misuse cannot be made impractical by using the trusted time stamping, by using the trusted time stamping in addition to the digital signatures, in addition to the digital signature. So that is the major disadvantage of digital signatures. And let us see the other one, that is non-repetition. When you move with the cryptography, when you have seen about the cryptographic technique, in that context, you have seen this repudiation. This repudiation comes in cryptography. Already in the previous sessions, we have discussed what is cryptography, what is algorithm, cryptographic algorithm, right? So in that, the word reputation that we have seen. So it means that reputation is the act, it is the act of disclaiming the responsibility for a message, disclaiming the responsibility for a message. That is, when the message recipient, he may insist the sender to attach a signature. In such cases, if the recipient, whoever the person that we want to send the document, if that recipient resists us to send to attach this digital signature in order to make a later repetition, that to make the later repetition more difficult, in that situations, the recipient can show the signed message to a third party, right? For example, to a court. You can send it to a court. So this enforces a claim on its the signatories as well as the integrity. So if they ask that they require the they require the digital signatures, then we need to give back dates and we need to send it, or they may resist the sender to get it with the digital signatures. So at this point of time, if you want to give the back dates, that may be known to the third parties, right? So that is also one disadvantage. However, you will be having a loss of control. You will be having a loss of control over the user's private key. Already we will be having the user's private key, right? So it means that all the digital signatures which are using that key, which are you whoever are using that key, they from the users may are suspectable. So if the persons who do not use, we can make them more suspectable. So other than that, the user cannot be repudiate a signed message. He cannot repudiate a signed message without repudiating their signature key. So without using that signature key, he cannot repudiate that signed message. So that is also one disadvantage in digital signatures. Okay. Uh, so now up to now we have discussed what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of digital signatures. And now we are going to discuss about the applications of digital signatures. So what are the various applications of digital signatures? So because of this digital signatures authentication only, both you will come to know the identity of the signer as well as the integrity of the signed information, and also it can be used in not only in these ways, it can also be used in various applications. Okay, so it is not that the signed message is being sent by the sender, and that you will come to know not only the integrity of the information and the identity of the signer, but also beyond that, you can be having the more applications of digital signatures. Now, let us see one by one. What are the various applications of digital signatures? So, among these applications, you will be having electronic mail system, electronic mail system, legal systems, electronic funds transfer systems, electronic data interchange, electronic building, distribution of software, and the database application. So other than that, there are a variety of applications in digital signatures. And these are the several applications. Now let us see one by one. Electronic mail system, electronic mail, email. So the digital signatures, it could be utilized in this electronic mail system. Why? Because when after a party has been generated a message, that is when the sender has been generated a message, the party could need to sign it with the help of party's private key. So they need to make a sign, the sender, the party needs to sign with the help of the party's private key. So the signed message, whatever the signed, the digital, when we use this digital signature, the signed message could be sent to the second party, that is the receiver's perspective. When you sign with the help of a private key, that signed message will be sent to the second party, and after verifying the received message, when once the message has been sent, and after verifying that signed message, the second party would have confidence that the first party need have signed the message. Why you use this is for satisfaction of or for confidence of the second party, that is the receiver's party. The second party would have confidence that the first party have signed the message. That confidence they will be built up in the receiver's perspective. So the second party would also know that the message was not altered. They also will come to know that the message was not altered after the first party signed. So when once the document has been shared from the first party to the second party, automatically you sign it with the help of private key, and you send to the second party. And when once the message has been received to the second party will come to see, the second party will come to know that the document was being signed, and this was not being altered, or this was not being changed, or this was not being entered through other third parties, through other third party. So that is one application in digital signature by using electronic mail system, by using electronic mail system. And the next one is legal systems. What is legal systems? Now, in this legal systems, it is often necessary for us to affix a timestamp. It is necessary for us to affix a timestamp to a document. It is necessary for us to affix a timestamp. So without timestamp, you can't go with backdates. Already that we have discussed, right? So this is better for us to affix a timestamp to a document in order to indicate that the date and time, the date and time at which the document was executed or the document became effective, to become, to make that the document is more effective, or to, to tell that the document was executed properly, to know that the document was executed properly or to become effective, one need to know that you have to make a date and timestamp. Date and timestamp. So that is the legal system. So an electronic time, this also will be an electronic timestamp. And this electronic system stamp can be affixed to the documents. This electronic stamp could be affixed to the document in electronic form, in electronic form, and then also can be signed. It can be signed using this digital signatures. So not only that, the thing that you have made the timestamp, this is better for us that our document is effective or our document is being executed in a proper way. To know that, it is better that for each and every digital signatures you require a timestamp. So this timestamp is also made electronically only. So this is one application. Now let us see the other application, that is electronic fund transfer system. We call this as EFT, electronic fund transfer system. So the digital signature could also be employed in electronic fund transfer system. That is, you can if you are using electronic fund transfer system, that is we use generally many funds that the money has to be transferred. In that also we use this. In that also we use this digital signatures. That is, without having any other additional information, it would be very difficult that if not impossible, it is not possible to the receiver to know that the message has been altered, to know that the message has been altered. That is, if this digital signature was used to sign the message, if this digital signature was used to sign the message, that before it has been sent, before it has been sent, the receiver would know that the message has been altered. They would have been known that the message have been altered. Why? Because it could not be verified correctly. That is, it could not be verified properly. So the transfer request, then it can be denied later, can be denied later. So in this application, in this also you can use this digital signatures, that is in electronic fund transfer system, right? And the next one, electronic data interchange, you call it as EDI, right? Already we have discussed about electronic data interchange in your first unit. Okay, we have discussed what is data interchange, electronic data interchange, that everything we have discussed. So these digital signatures are also used in this electronic data interchange, which is called as EDI. So it is, what is this EDI? It is the computer to computer interchange. EDI is a computer to the computer interchange That is what they used to interchange. They used to interchange the messages which represents business documents, which used to represent the business documents. So in the federal government, this technology, this EDI technology is being used to procure goods and services. So in this federal government, we use this technology to produce, to procure the products and services. So, right. So the digital signatures could be used to replace the handwritten signatures. So when you give an order and when you replace it, when you send it to them, you pay for giving orders. Okay, for everything we use handwritten signatures. So to avoid these handwritten signatures, instead of handwritten signatures, we use this digital signatures. We use this digital signatures. So digital signatures, it could be replaced with the handwritten signatures. In this, if you use this EDI signature, EDI transactions, in these EDI transactions, you can, these EDI transactions, you can make the handwritten signatures. These are replaced through the digital signatures. So this action, it assures that the content of the message have not been altered and that the request was signed. The request was signed by a legitimate procurement official. Legitimate procurement official. So that is EDI, electronic data interchange. That is one important application in digital signatures. And the next one is electronic building. Electronic building, that is after verifying a bid request, the vendor can generate and sign an electronic bid. We call it as electronic building. In the sense, we call it as electronic bid. That is, when you are receiving the bid, the procurement official would verify that the vendor's bid was not altered. You can come to know the vendor's bid was not altered after it was signed. So that is when you use this digital signatures in the receiving of a procurement bid by the procurement official, you will come to know that the vendor's bid was not altered after when once the signature has been made, when once the digital signatures has been made. That is, if the bid is being accepted, if the bid is accepted, the electronic message could be passed to a contracting office. When once the bid is being passed, it could be when the bid has been accepted, this could be passed to the contracting office. Why? Because to negotiate the final terms of the contract. So to negotiate the final terms of the contract, you can use this bid. You can use this bid. So the final contract could be digitally signed, whatever the made of final thing. So that final contract could be made digitally signed by both the contracting office as well as the vendor, by both the contracting officer as well as the vendor. So if a dispute arose, if the dispute has been arised at some later time, then the contents of the contract as well as the associated signatures could also be verified by a third party. Okay, that if any disputes has been arised in this period of time, that when the bid is being done, when it is being transferred and when it is being verified and accepted, if any disputes has been arised, automatically that the content of the contracts can be associated signatures could be verified. These can be verified by a third party. So that you need to remember when you are using this electronic bid. Okay. And the next one is distribution of the software. The other one is distribution of the software. That is, this digital signature could also be useful in when you are a distribution of the software. So not only in all these applications, we can see that in the distribution of software also, you can use this digital signature. Why? Because this digital signature, it could be applied to a software, and afterwards it has been validated also and approved for distribution. So not only that, it is being verified, it is being valid. It has to be validated and it has to be distributed for, it has to be approved for the distribution. So before installing the software on a computer, when once you are going to install some software in your computer, at that time the signature is being verified. At that time, the signature is being verified. So this could be verified, and you can be sure that no unauthorized access has been made. That is, for example, if such as addition of viruses. Already we have seen many virus, what we have been discussed, right? Security threats, and among these, those viruses have not been authorized. That can be verified. So that verification can be made in this distribution of software. And in this, when you are using this digital signatures in this software, it could be verified periodically also. That is for every 6 months or for every 3 months. So periodically also this used to be verified, that it is that to ensure that the integrity of the software is good, to ensure that the integrity of the software is good. Okay, so that is about the distribution of software. And when you come to the next application, it is database application. It is database application. So in this database application, the integrity of the information will be stored in the database. The integrity of the information will be stored in the database. It is often essential. It is often essential. That is, the digital signatures could be employed. This can be employed in a variety of database applications, not only in the single application. So these digital signatures are being employed in various applications. Why? Because to provide integrity. This is the main important thing. To provide integrity, these digital signatures are being used in various applications. So if you take an example that the information could be signed when it was entered into the database. So when you want to enter into the database, automatically the information could be signed. So that is the main example for this database application. So the main integrity, to maintain this integrity, each and every system could also require that the updates. They need to require the updates, or they need to have some modifications to the information which has been signed. So when if you want to make these documents in this way, you need some more modifications or you need some more updates to the information which is being signed. So before the signed information, before signing through this digital signature, the information must be viewed by first by the user, whoever the person is using. They need to they need to know about the information which is being signed, as well as the next, the signature. The first thing, he need to know the information, and he need to verify the signature. That signature could be verified. Okay, so if the signature verified is correct, the user could know that the information has not been altered. The information cannot be altered, is not being altered by some unauthorized party. So is it right? So the signature for every first time when you are using the database, for each and every time, the signature need to be verified by the user. So if once the user has been accessed, then it means that there is no other third party has been used, accessed this or altered the information, right? So the system would also be include, this also includes signatures in the audit information, and this provides a record of users. This used to provide a record of users who are trying to modify the information. So if, for example, if some other third parties are being using this information, this digital signatures, this database will make a record that how many times you have been entered. For each and every time when the user wants to access a database, it is that they has to use this digital signature, right? So it will give you a record. It will give you a record that your document that you have accessed this for 3 times in a day or for 4 times in a day. That you will come to know that how many times you have been accessed. For example, if you have accessed only 2 times and in the record it is 10 times, it means that there is unauthorized access has been made. That you will come to know. That you will come to no. So that is one thing. The audit information can be made to provide the record information. Why? Because who you will come to know who modified or who accessed that information. So these are the various applications of digital signatures, right? Have you understood in these sessions, or do you have any doubts regarding advantages, disadvantages, and applications of digital signatures? If you have any queries, you can ask me or I'll bind them. Okay. With this, today's session will be closed, ma, and the next class we will discuss the other session. Thank you, ma. Thank you all.